Welcome to Rockstars of Ethereum, a show about the journey and the awesome work people are doing in Ethereum and the Web3 space as a whole, aka Rockstars of Ethereum. I'm Richa
And I'm Harsh from
from
Ethereum
Ethereum
Push
Push
Notification Service.
Notification Service.
Yeah,
Okay, we got that.
fourth time we didn't get it right, but let's go on.
Yeah. Our guest today has been at the forefront of crypto awareness and mass adoption in India, selected as Forbes 30 under 30, the founder and the CEO of the biggest crypto exchange in India, WazirX, and a crypto celebrity in India. The very awesome Nischal Shetty. Hey Nishkal, how are you doing?
Hey, Harsh, hey, Richa. Thanks a lot for inviting me on the show. I'm glad to be here.
Glad you came, Nischal. So we start the show, Nischal, by telling everyone how we met you. So how we met Nischal. Uh, this is actually again chance. We met Nischal because we took a chance. Richa reached out to Nischal with our updates after our at global POC hackathon. Didn't expect him to respond back, but he was awesome. He really did. Didn't expect the first call to last an hour, but yeah, it went way over an hour and it was really fun and candid. And yeah, totally didn't expect to gain a sort of core team member in the disguise of an advisor. Nishal has been working with us, guiding, mentoring us on virtually every aspect of the project. And we can say with 100% confidence that we wouldn't be here if it was not for him. Though a personal secret, Nishal, initially, whenever you were replying to us and you weren't getting a reply for an hour or two, it was just because we were overthinking what to send you. So, yeah, with that
Good to
being
know that.
awesome, awesome. All right. So, with that being said, welcome, Nishal, on to you, Richa.
Yeah, cool. So hey, awesome Nishal. So can you maybe tell us something about yourself and what are you currently up to in your own words?
Sure. So there's a lot to say, but I'll keep it short. I started off as a software engineer. I worked for about 2.5, 3 years, I think, in two companies. One was the first job was a corporate job, and the second one was in a startup. And during my work at the startup is when I realized that as a software developer you could actually build something on your own. So before that, in the corporate job, it was like, how do you build these large companies? There are thousands of people. But in a startup, I realized, okay, one person can start something on their own. And that's why with that thought in mind, during my free time, I started trying out building, some side projects. And that's where one of the side projects took off. And that was my first startup called Crowdfire, where I eventually quit my job and started doing that full time. So it's been, I think, over 10 years now since I've been into startups. In 2017, I got into WazirX and launched it in 2018. There's sort of a backstory there. My first startup was building on top of all these Facebook, Twitter, Instagram APIs. And around 2016, 2017, they started changing the terms and conditions on how developers could use the APIs. So that's where I realized that building on a centralized ecosystem, the downside is that when these large companies don't want you, so when they want you, they'll get behind you. They'll say, "Oh, we are building a developer platform. We are very pro developers." And when the work is done and it's time for them to make money, they'll probably they'll start cutting off the developers. And that's where I saw this whole decentralized ecosystem where you don't have to ask anyone for permission. You just go out there and build what you want, and no one can stop you. And that was like one of the major attractions. And in 2018, we launched WazirX eventually, and it's been going well. There's a lot of ups and downs from regulatory point of view, but I think it's part of the sector. You cannot avoid it unless you are truly decentralized. Then you don't have to worry. But I think someone has to do the work of regulation in every country. So at least in India, we are working towards that, and let's see how it goes. I think we are on a good path right now in the country. at least there's dialogue of regulation that has started.
Yeah, amazing. And just want to maybe go back a little more and want to know, like, where did you grow up and how was that phase like, and what actually pushed you towards, the entrepreneurship journey, and is there a story there?
I grew up in Mumbai, and my dad had restaurants, so you could say there's an angle to that, but I wouldn't say that because I wasn't really objectively looking at starting something on my own. I think I was more or less pushed to it because my side project worked, and within a few months, it started making me more money than my job. So I realized that there's no point earning lesser when you could earn more. So I think I was just pushed into this zone, and I've just been doing. So and now I do come across people who objectively want to start something on their own and they quit their jobs, and that's one way of going. But mine was more of a organic push towards entrepreneurship.
Yeah, I think you're a big inspiration to, like, I think a lot of people, they look up to you when it comes to sort of starting on their entrepreneurship journey. And Nischal, you have been on the Forbes, 30 under 30 list, which is amazing. And so what do you think was the idea that made you come on that list? And what can others strive for to maybe achieve that or similar milestones?
So I think that was the first year when Forbes started the list in India, a specific 30 under 30 for India. And I was chosen for my first startup because during that time, we were one of those few bootstrapped companies from India who were building for a global audience. So Crowdfire, my first startup, I think by the time that was happening, we had about 7-8 million users, and we were doing over $1 million in revenue, and we were a small team of maybe 15 or 20 people. And I think someone from Forbes reached out, and then we started talking, and they loved the whole hustle, I think, of a small team, and we were in Mumbai. And not even in the Silicon Valley of India, which is Bangalore. So I think the odds were against us, and we still did it. Probably that's what attracted them. See, end of the day, these are good things to have, but I don't think you don't strive for them. It happens. Let them happen if they do. But I think what you should go after is making what you build successful, getting it into the hands of more people. So I think that's even better. But yeah, the world needs credibility. So when you get an opportunity to get into these things, you don't say no. So yeah, I think that's how this happened to me. I just organically, someone reached out and I participated.
Awesome. I love the right place at the right time type of thinking. All right. So Nischal, I would like to actually ask about the sort of regulatory framework India has right now, and you have been basically the front runner in convincing the government why crypto is good. Apparently, you and a lot of other crypto startups, they're forming a coagulation, and they're going to the government. So what sort of discussion do you expect to have over there? How do you want to convince the government?
See, our idea is, so there's regulation, there's no one single approach. It's not like, you go talk to the government and regulations are done. It's a combination of a variety of factors. And I think each of us, everyone, you, me, anyone reading this, looking at this, hearing this, sharing this, everyone has a part to play in bringing about regulations in India. And I'll tell you how. Let's say if you're an entrepreneur, build the largest and the biggest crypto companies in India. Because if you have, let's say, 10 crypto companies, then the government would be like, okay. But if you have 100 crypto companies that are successful, government would be like, wow. And if you have 1,000 crypto startups in India that are successful, government would be like, we should regulate. So if you think about it, increasing the size of the industry is on all of the entrepreneurs. Now, when it comes to users, People say, what can I do alone? But when 5 million, so today India has 10 million people. Now, let's say you bring your friends, teach them about crypto, like get them to participate. This is a good number, 10 million, but we take it to 20 million, 30 million. Then the government will again be like, there are so many people in India who are into crypto. We should definitely regulate. So regulation, I see not more of us telling please regulate, but us showing the government what is possible. Of course, having said that, as an industry, what we're trying to do is a couple of things. One is not waiting for the government to say regulation and then do something. We are trying to self-regulate, and we've been doing that for a while. Because one approach is you can say there is no regulation in crypto, so let's not do anything. But the crypto industry in India, we are doing KYCs, AML policies, all the right things already. And we have a code of conduct, which anyone who's part of the group. So this group is called BACC, Blockchain and Crypto Council. It's under IMAI, which is the Internet and Mobile Association of India. So it's a subcommittee under IMAI. And we have quite a few of the country's exchanges, and we are pulling in all the other exchanges as well. The idea is that all of us together, one, we adopt this code of conduct. The second is we reach out to various sections of the government and various regulators in the country. Again, not with the objective saying please regulate, but I think one is we want to address what their concerns are. See, when concerns come, there are genuine legitimate concerns as well. So we want to make sure that we address those concerns, and at the same time we can show what path we can take towards regulation. So it's a combination of both of these things, and I don't think it's going to be an overnight thing. See, it's going to be a process where we have to keep doing this. Before, we did not even know whether the government was interested in talking about crypto or even discussing this. Now, at least we know there's a bill. So now I think the path to regulation has opened up. When will regulation happen is very hard to say. But I'm just glad in India that we have at least started on that path. Because if you see the US, for example, the US has been doing this for quite a while now. I think 3-4 years, where entrepreneurs are being called for discussions by the government. They're trying to figure out what to do. So US is probably 3-4 years ahead of us in regulation, but they still don't have regulation in the country. They don't have a formal law on how to regulate cryptocurrencies. So I think India will also take time, but at least we have started that as a nation, and that's a great.
Awesome. And Nischal, I know if anyone can persevere, it's you and WazirX. On speaking about perseverance, it's been way over 850 days. I think it's 880th day right now since you started the hashtag India Wants Crypto. That's a ton of commitment right there. And it might be a great NFT to give as well. Just saying. What made you come up with that idea, Nischal? And does it get easier to tweet about it every day, or it becomes harder?
So, see, I think it was just it was November 2018, and I think 2-3 months back, as an industry, we had put that case in the Supreme Court of India against the RBI banking restriction. The reason I did that is because I realized that while you can go to court, you can do that things, but that's just a band-aid to a problem, because that will just overturn what is there in the intermediate. But how do you change the mindset in the entire country and get them to look at what crypto truly is? What an innovation it is. Because what happens when you have something innovative? There is a small part of section of people who are like, wow, this is an innovation, but there's always a large number of people who first look at the negatives. And if you look at history, this has always been the case, even internet. Unfortunately, I was very young and naive, so I looked at the internet in a very negative way in the initial days, because I remember I had ordered something online, and I got some fake product, and I said that internet is a scam, and e-commerce, I'm never ordering online. This was way back, way before e-commerce was a thing. So this is exactly what is happening in crypto as well. And the best way to solve for that is one, build amazing products, and second is educate people on what crypto is, what the technology is. And the way to educate, I believe, was to put out, my medium of communication is Twitter. So I said, let's start tweeting about it. And I didn't really think that it would go so long. I was like, day one, maybe in a few days. And my first objective was, can I get our a finance minister or a prime minister to respond and say something. Unfortunately, that never happened. But I think along the way, I realized that this can be a broader objective, which is to educate the entire country on what crypto is. And I never stopped that, and a lot of people joined, and it started getting a lot of publicity globally as well, not just local. And it was needed because that puts out the story of India and India's regulation. It also clears a lot of unwanted rumors around India, because every time something happens in India, people assume it's a ban, it's a complete blackout in the country. That has never happened in India. Though I'm sure every year we hear a news story saying crypto is banned in India. So my objective was let's bust all these myths and also promote the right information. And it's been working well, and I'll continue to do that. The idea is let's take India to the path of positive regulations, and the campaign is just a symbol of that, I think.
Awesome, awesome. And actually, on that note, Nischal, we have been asked that question a ton of times. That is crypto banned in India? So we know that it's not. But for all the global users that are listening, can you tell us? In a brief summary, what was the crypto scenario in India from 2018 to currently, so that they are aware of the real story rather than the story that is circulating around in media?
So yeah, I think in 2018, the first thing that happened was there was a banking restriction that was placed by the Central Bank of India. And the story, though, that went across was, again, India is banning crypto. The only restriction was that as a crypto business, you cannot have a bank account. And what we did at WazirX was we introduced a peer-to-peer way for people to buy and sell crypto during that banking restriction, and that worked beautifully. And this went on till March 2020, 4th of March 2020, when the Supreme Court of India overturned this circular by the RBI, and that was the only thing that ever happened officially. By the way, except this one thing, nothing has officially happened in India. So if you've read of any other thing, everything is just an assumption or probably a rumor. But there's not been anything except this banking restriction from, I think, July 2018 to 4th of March 2020. And during which time we could still trade, hold, transfer, and do whatever you wanted in crypto. There was no restriction on usage of crypto amongst the users or trading of crypto. There was no such restriction. But yeah, apart from that, there's nothing that's officially done in India against crypto.
Awesome. Thanks for that summary, Nischal. Really helps people to understand, especially when it's coming from the founder of one of the biggest exchange of India called WazirX. Nischal, on that note, how did you come up with the name WazirX?
Coming up with a name is always the hardest, and though here the reason was we were looking for. See, we were building a product which we wanted to. We see this as like the tool for traders to trade, right? And if you look at trading, there are so many moves you can make, and that's where the association with chess came into the mind. And Wazir is the queen piece of chess. In Hindi, I think you say Wazir to the queen piece of chess, and the queen piece can make any move, and it's probably the most powerful piece. So that gave us the idea of naming it as Wazir, and X is for the exchange, so it became WazirX. It's a simple story, but it took quite a while to come up with it.
Yep, it always does. I mean, every startup or every company that starts, the name is actually really, really special to them. And yeah, it's actually an interesting story why the name Wazir and why X. I like it. WazirX because it's India's biggest exchange. Therefore, a lot of projects, not only from India, but from all around the world, they want to get listed. And I want you to tell us a funny, awesome, or a weird experience you had with a project. You can choose not to name the project, but the most weird or funny experience you had with a listing on WazirX.
Um, I don't think there's anything funny or weird, or it's a combination of that. But I think what happens is every now and then, I think people find new ways to, uh, you know, uh, get get to me to get their tokens listed. So sometimes, and I realize that sometimes they don't tell me till the last minute on the call that the reason is to get it listed. So I've had a few instances where they get on the call with some other reason, and eventually it turns out the objective is to get the token listed. I always tell everyone that it's not me. I don't alone decide anything, and there's a process to it. But yeah, and then on Telegram, I've had people impersonating others, and then not to scam me, but just to get me to list some token. They say I'm this one, I'm the CEO, I'm this guy. I have a recommendation for a token. You should look at it. So there are so many ways. I think I appreciate the hustle. It's I think everyone needs to do their thing. Um, but yeah, nothing that stands out. This keeps happening, and I think over the years you get used to it, and I think I may not be able to pinpoint it. Maybe if I go through my chat and show it to someone, they might find it funny. For me, it's now just become a normal thing.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, but the way you told us, we it was us imagining like Andre reaching out to you and saying, "Hey, this is token XYZ. Don't worry about Curve Finance. Please list this." I 100% support it.
Right.
Yeah, awesome. So one more question about WazirX. Nishal, WazirX is acquired by Binance. Not many people know that around the world. But hey, guys, WazirX is acquired by Binance. But yeah, what was the transformation like before WazirX acquisition happened and right after the acquisition happened? And if someone wants to approach Binance for the project, what do you recommend them to do?
See, so we were looking for funds, and that's when I, met the Binance team, and then we realized that um, when I look at Binance, it's one of those the rarest of rare companies, which has grown at a pace that was probably unimaginable before they showed that this is possible. That you could go to zero to $1 billion in revenue maybe in under 2 years, I think. And when you look at companies like that that are breaking mindset barriers, I think just taking money is not never enough. The most important thing is to understand how that is being done, and money can't buy that. It can't buy you that understanding of how Binance scales the way it does. And when I came across them, I realized that just raising money from them is not going to help me much. So we discussed, and this turned out to be an acquisition. And I think I took the right call because I got to see closely on how they operate and how they really scale themselves and how they rapidly move. Despite being such a large company and business, um, I think the rate at which they push things out, it puts small startups to shame. And if you think about it, startups were always known to be the only advantage startups had, small startups, was speed. So now you have a company like Binance, which is large and has speed. And so the learnings are amazing. And I've been able to apply them to WazirX. And you've seen our rapid success in the last 12 months, 18 months, we've grown 10, 20x now. And I would attribute part of it to the learning and the key understanding of how to scale things, how to scale a startup from Binance. Of course, with that, the whole regulatory the whole banking ban being lifted in India, then the Bitcoin price is going up, the market is getting better. That everything is there. But I think Binance, the learnings from Binance have been really good for us. And these are things that you don't get it on a blog or on a or anywhere. You have to, like, I think nobody would, no one single person will be able to tell you. Also, you have to observe and you have to absorb what you can when you look at it, efficiently working. So yeah, I think that's helped us a lot. You can see the results, numbers speak for themselves. And yeah, I think we just start. I'm taking inspiration from them and trying to now the next, for example, one of the good things that Binance did in 2018, 2019 was to focus on building as many features, and build was the direction. And now at WazirX, we are now going to take that. We were working on our core and making it strong, and now we want to build as many features around it. So we are going in that direction, and all of this, I think, is from learning. And for us, see, we are probably, I'm the first generation entrepreneurs in the crypto space in India. So when I looked within our country, I didn't have anyone to learn from also. And here, there's CZ, there's Way, they're really amazing and smart guys who've seen things. So getting to learn from them is like a really good thing.
Awesome. Awesome. I like observe and try to absorb what you can. That's the success mantra. Also, Nishal, I just realized while we were talking about exchanges, Binance and WazirX, they share some of the most solid security foundations ever found in the exchange. I think in India, you are probably the only exchange that hasn't suffered a hack. And globally, I think Binance is the only exchange that hasn't really suffered a hack, apart from the phishing scam that happened, but that's actually not on Binance. And apparently, even then, funds were safe and they returned it out. So yeah, I wanted to know when you started WazirX, how did you guys come up with the security guidelines? Did you, or how was that discussion like?
Yeah, see, I think security is not like a one-time thing where you do and you see you're secured. It's an ongoing thing, and you'll have to constantly work on it all the time. And I think the whole see, I think there's a lot of learning from history now compared to, I wouldn't say that companies that did not have it secured before did something terribly wrong. Maybe, but I think most times what happens is a new industry. There are a lot of new learning that are not emerged, and that's also one of the reasons why this happened. Because in crypto, your traditional security methods are not enough. Because crypto is one where there's maximum, I would say, um, a maximum. I mean, for a hacker, the incentives are the highest compared to traditional infrastructure where you breach and you get data. Here, value, you get money. So you have to learn from history. And what we've been doing is we've been trying to understand, what are the standard security practices that are being followed by various exchanges around the world. And we've been trying to implement that. Then the standard procedures like your hot wallet, cold wallet, to make sure that you don't live with the objective that you will not be hacked, but you figure out that if there's a hack, what's the worst case that can happen, and you prepare for that. Which is why when you're saying that the safe fund and all those things, the objective always is that be ready to lose as much as you can afford to lose, and if you go with that objective, you're safer. But end of the day, I don't think security is something that you can just do it and forget it, or do it once in a while. You have to constantly be on it, and we also as a team, we're doing it, and we will continue to do that. It's just an ongoing thing. You can never say you're never secured enough. There are always new ways that emerge, and there are always new loopholes that can emerge in your software, and there are so many moving parts when you build something. So just we just continue to do that. Just continue to focus on learning, And again, here learning from the Binance team also helps a lot. In fact, I think we should have a larger industry-wide collaboration. I don't think it's done enough. Right now, everyone's doing it in silos in their own companies. Hopefully, eventually, more standards emerge on how to secure and more collaboration amongst all of the exchanges globally. I think that'll make it even more secure.
Awesome. That's some solid advice, Nischal. Uh, and yeah, I think we all can benefit from a wider collaboration with all the exchanges. Awesome. So yeah, let's move to Ethereum now, Nischal. You have introduced Ethereum to so many users in India. I think most of the people before WazirX came, they were only into Bitcoin. So in a way, you brought Ethereum to India. I would like to know how was that early experience like. Uh,
See, I think Ethereum is something that I think even I've been, deeply involved because we introduced that very early, and we were a very small team, and I was like really actively understanding how the Ethereum blockchain works. How do you, you know, um, the whole gas and it was so complicated in the beginning. Now it seems okay, but yeah, I think the reason we brought it was more because it's always user demands. Whatever we bring, users wanted it. And back then, yeah, it was rare, and we brought it in, and we also made sure that people understood. So one is you bring in a project. The second is you spread the information and knowledge about it, and that is something that I think at WazirX we really do well. We make sure that our users understand what these projects are, what these products are, and why that token is useful in that blockchain or in that smart contract or wherever it is used. And we've done that a lot, extensive. I think more than getting people to buy tokens or something. I think as an industry, what we should do is get people to understand the tokens. Because the decision to buy or not buy or sell or whatever, that should be on the individual. But not knowing what it is, that is a loss for all of us. So I think explaining this, we've done an extensive work, even in the initial days and even now. And surprisingly, I think India is a young country. The young population is the more. So I've never really had hardships in getting people to hear it or understand or research. You don't have to try too hard in India because people are always curious and they want to learn, and that's good because youngsters are that way, and I think it's a very good thing. That in fact gives me more confidence that India will grow the sector, the crypto sector, and we'll probably be one of the top crypto nations. So yeah, it's not been that hard. I think it was just everyone. The affinity for crypto in India is really high. I think it's just that the missing thing is the education and the understanding, which is now happening.
Awesome. Completely agree. And on that note, I mean, I've seen WazirX putting out those very cute scribbly drawings out that explains what are NFTs or what are the Indian regulations or what is Bitcoin and what is Ethereum. And I see this, all around Reddit. So I know that WazirX is making sure that the education is going around rapidly and people in India understand these concepts, especially DeFi and NFT. And with whenever we talk about DeFi and NFT, innovations and interesting ideas are the things that come to our mind. So I would like to ask Nischal, what are your views around some of the interesting ideas and innovations that you have seen in the space, apart from cryptocurrency getting used for trading? Because we know from our experience that cryptocurrencies are used to do so much more. And I would like to ask you, what are some of the interesting ideas and innovations you have seen in this space?
See, quite a few, and I think what we are seeing right now is probably just the surface. You're just scratching the surface of what applications are possible. Partly because if you see, there are two parallel things happening right now in the whole crypto ecosystem. One is the infrastructure is still being built, while products are also being built. In fact, it's very interesting. It's like if in the real world, you're thinking there's a road being built and the cars are already on the way. That's how at least crypto is. And I think when the infrastructure is completely laid out, because there are so many crazy ideas people have, and many of these crazy ideas fail because they are not able to find the right kind of infrastructure for that. Having said that, I think what is really working right now is first is in the case of India, at least, remittance plays that's an amazing opportunity, and I think people are beginning to understand that instead of getting transfers through dollars and losing out a lot of money in fees and the time it takes a few days. Out here, you have an instant transfer of Bitcoin that you can do amongst you and your family members. So remittance is definitely something that's big. The other, I think, is your DeFi. For example, DeFi makes, I believe, it is the lending and the savings part. It democratizes interest rates. We don't have to worry about different interest rates in different parts of the world, and everyone gets to access the same liquidity pool globally. It doesn't matter in which country you are, and right now what we are seeing is probably just the beginning. Eventually these interest rates will probably percolate into more parts of our lives, and maybe someday people can get loans for really cheap for doing things compared to the expensive loans they have to avail today in their specific geography, especially in underdeveloped and developing nations. um, then the other is NFT, the talk of the town. And I believe that digital ownership is a thing. You look at how we are structured today in terms of wealth. When we talk about wealth, we only think about offline wealth we have, because online it's just been our identity, maybe our identity, our presence. That's all that is online and information. But maybe 5-10 years down the line, when you measure your wealth, there'll be a combination of online and offline. And online comes from crypto and NFTs. People will own NFTs, which they will say, now my wealth is X dollar or whatever that denomination is, of which probably this much percentage is an online wealth. And that percentage of online wealth is where your crypto and your NFTs come. And NFT, see, the thing is, uh, it is also opening up a new segment of people, which is arts and art lovers. Before this, they've not had the opportunity to participate in crypto, and this is how crypto is growing itself, because it's coming up with new use cases to expand to new sections of society. And NFT is really beautiful that way. It's opening up to the artist community and to art lovers and people who want to own things. Appreciate, if you appreciate art, you want to own it. And people say, I can also have a copy, but see, it's not a 0 or 1. You can have a copy, sure, you do have a copy, but there are people who want to have the original. There are people who want to reward the artist for the hard work they do, and such people should also be given an opportunity, and NFT comes in there. Then apart from that, I think I'm also seeing a lot of these decentralized applications being built out. And EPNS, for example, I think you guys are again in that part of that infrastructure phase where you're trying to help the dApps being built. And when all of this gets together, then probably we'll have a day where in your phone or on your laptop, maybe 50% would be dApps, or maybe 100%. Maybe eventually people will just move to decentralized applications, and it's just so much more easier for both parties. And if you see, it's not easier only for one. Even the developers, it's such I would say, it's such an amazing thing. Once you build it, put it, forget it if you want. Don't have to maintain, don't have to go behind it and work on the next stuff. So in a way, your whole scaling and infrastructure is taken care of by the community. Because when I was building my first startup, also part time, one of my biggest problem was, how do you manage all the infrastructure itself? Here, when I see dApps and I realize that you can just code and then forget scaling, forget how it works, forget uptime. Don't have to wake up in the middle of the night to restart your server. I think that's the beauty of dApps. And so it's benefiting both. And for the user, they don't have to worry about a developer shutting down a project. If let's say you as a developer are bored of it, it's okay. Your V1 is probably on the blockchain, and let people who appreciate it use it, even if 10 people like it in the world. Today, when you see products as a developer, if you can't get to 100,000 people, then you have to shut it down because it's not viable for you. But tomorrow, even if 20 people in the world use your dApp, it's more than enough. It's okay. The dApp can exist, and those 20 people are happy. So I think it's amazing that these kind of innovation that will happen. It's really hard to really predict how it will go, but I can see that these small little signs. If I could predict what applications to build, I would just build them. So, but let's see. I'm really hopeful. As a developer, at least I see some amazing things happening for the developer community, and we'll have a bright future in this sector for sure.
Definitely couldn't agree more, Nischal. Uh, and I know, I mean, you have seen it all from NFTs in 2021 to DeFi and going way back to the 2018 bull run and even further than that. So I would like to ask you, since you have seen the crypto space from early days and right now, what are some of the major changes you have seen in the space?
I think the biggest has been the maturity of everyone in this space. 2016, 2017, I think it was still everyone was new, and everyone had different viewpoints about crypto and what it is and why they were. Now, overall, I think the industry has matured a lot, and you're seeing a lot more thoughtful way forward, even in building products. Before it was crazy. You hear ideas and you like the ideas, but you realize you can't build them because the infrastructure does not exist. Now people have taken a more thoughtful process and approach, and that's good. The quality of people getting in is also increasing, right? From for example, Elon Musk is part of it now. What do you want? One of the best guy in innovation and technology is into crypto. So I think there is a lot of big names entering crypto, which is good. And governments have eased in, though we still hear about ban, no ban in every country. But understand that governments have eased in compared to, let's say, 2016, 2017, where if they could, they would have probably definitely banned it. Now they're at least discussing and understanding. So they've eased in. Um, and I think the other is also greed has sort of reduced, probably not completely. And it's okay. Some greed helps in innovation also, but I think it has drastically reduced because people have seen the 2017, boom and the bust, and people do realize. Everyone now has in the corner of their mind has that thing that this can again go down maybe, and we should be ready because last time it was like we were invincible. That was a thought, and you need to have some sort of a downside mindset as well to protect yourself and to not go crazy when you do things. Entrepreneurs, investors, traders, everyone, I think. So there's some sanity, again, a sign of maturity, which is amazing. So I think overall, if you see, it's amazing progress in the 3 years at least. I've been into crypto way early, but never been deep into it. Like in 2012, I started trying out all the wallets. That was the time when new wallets were being built on crypto. And me and my friends, we were just sending bitcoins to each other just like that for fun to try out. But I never got deep into it. In 2018, I think is when I got. 2017 is when I got deep into crypto. 2018 got into it where I knew there's no coming back. And I think progressively crypto has done really amazing. And that's a good sign. You look at the 10-year history of crypto, you'll realize it has only gone upwards. And it's never gone downwards. It's not an industry where people have lost faith or, where innovation has stopped. Every year there's something new happening. And that's the best sign of an industry which is, poised to really break out eventually. I don't know what that year will be. Maybe it's this year and next, or maybe it might take another 3 or 4 years. Doesn't matter. I think all of us are in the right place at the right time, and we are. Though we think we are late, we are still early because it's about 100 million people in the world who are into crypto, and you have 4.6 billion people on the internet. So there's a lot of people to come. So it's okay.
Awesome. Awesome. And when you spoke about 2012 and you being in crypto, I realized there were still some Bitcoin faucets available back then, which gave you Bitcoin at 12. But
Yeah,
yeah,
who would have thought we would come from there to now where you won't get even a small piece of Bitcoin anywhere for free.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now you think that, let me see, maybe I had 0.01 Bitcoin over there somewhere in the exchange. I just left it
Now,
at home.
now every decimal matters. It's like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, every sats matter. I like that.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, Nishal, one last question about WazirX token. You also came out with a automated market maker, AMM for WazirX. I would like to know what's that's all about. What's the theory behind it, the game theory, and what do you intend to do as in the future plan for WazirX token?
Sure. See, with the AMM, our objective was, how do we get into the whole decent? See, while we are into crypto and we are an exchange, we are a centralized exchange, and I'm not a zero or one guy. I don't think it's either centralized or decentralized. I think it's always a middle path, which is there will be a set of customers who want centralized because they don't want to custody, and then there will be a set of customers who want to self custody. And now our objective is not to alienate them and say go to a decentralized exchange. We want to offer that. With that objective, we got into building our own decks, and it's been delayed. A variety of reasons, but I think most importantly, it's just that there was so much work out here in our centralized exchange. We realized we don't have the bandwidth to put into that, so we are building out a team. In fact, we are hiring right now, and it's progressing very well. And very soon we'll have a dedicated team because it's not a thing where you just do it on the side. You have to be dedicated to building the decentralized ecosystem as well. We wanted to be serious about it, and we realized that while the intention was there, we were not prepared for it. So we took a step back and said, let's first get a dedicated team, and then let them go after it, and we can help them with whatever they need help from us. So we are definitely getting into it. Might be a little delayed because of the whole team setup, but yeah, the objective is we want to be in a world where people have choices. Whether centralized or decentralized, you will have a choice. And WazirX, at least from an India point of view, we want to be like the default DEX for India as well. We are the default centralized exchange. We want to be the default decentralized also.
That's going to be really huge. And that's awesome. Thanks for providing a glimpse of the future, Nishal. Uh, all right, Nishal. So this is the end of all the interview questions which we sort of sent you out. And it's the beginning of a rapid fire round, which is a surprise for our guest. The rapid fire round is prepared by Richa along with all the crazy questions. So I'm going to pass the mic to Richa, and Richa, ask all the crazy questions you want.
And some of these questions we secretly wanted to ask you for a long time. So I think we have squeezed those in as well. So Nishal,
Sure.
it's very simple questions. Maybe we'll go super fast and you take 5 to 10 seconds to answer them. So let's start. Okay. Your favorite country after India?
There are so many, but I think Netherlands. I just love everything about it. The people, the food, everything is amazing. I think.
Amazing. Your favorite Netflix show?
There are so many, but I think if recently I've just been due to the pandemic and all, I just watched Friends all over again, and just reminds me that that's probably one of the best because it just makes you happy. I think the friend it kept me happy in the pandemic, I would say. So right now that's my best show.
Yeah, awesome. What's your favorite way to spend a day off?
This it's a very alien topic to me because I enjoy just reading up about tech and just doing what I do. So a day off probably is just reading up stuff. But lately I've been trying to get away and refresh myself. and that's usually just taking a walk outside or reading a book. I've also started reading a book. Yeah, probably that's the other thing, because there's so much of online reading I do. I realize that sometimes you just need to put some thoughts into reading a 100, 200 page book also, because one single line articles don't give you the complete picture, So reading a book, definitely.
Amazing. So if you could interview one famous person, who would you choose?
Is this for crypto?
Your choice, crypto, non-crypto, anybody you want to interview.
I think right now it will be Elon Musk. Just there's unlimited. You can just keep asking him questions; he'll answer everything.
Yeah. And maybe do a clubhouse with Elon Musk. That would be a conversation everybody wants to hear.
Yeah.
Amazing. Who was your first celebrity crush?
Celebrity crush. These are this must have been a long, but I think Angelina Jolie has been like my all-time favorite.
All-time favorite. Okay. Nice. What's your hidden talent?
My hidden talent. I think so. I can remember a lot of things around work without having to really note them down. Just that I think it just naturally comes to me. So probably a hidden talent. I don't know.
Yeah, you have a very sharp memory then.
Yeah. But it's only with work because otherwise I forget everything.
Okay. Anniversaries, birthdays, you typically forget them.
Yeah. Those I forget.
So Nishal's brain is like blockchain when it comes to work.
Yeah. It's immutable. Work related things are immutable.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay. So what is the first thing that comes to your mind when I say the following words? WazirX?
Amazing is what came to mind. That's all. But
That's
right now I think passion. It's passion. The first thing that comes to mind is never always the right thing, but it is amazing. But I'm also very passionate about it.
Yeah, amazing. NFTs?
Ownership, digital ownership.
Nice. Satoshi?
Online God, I think that's what comes to mind.
Oh, cool. Lambo?
A dream.
Okay.
For many, at least.
Yeah. Cool. Candles?
Candles. Light them up.
Okay. Bear or bull?
Bull. Always. I don't know. Did anyone ever choose a bear?
So we just wanted to see what would be the first pick that you would have in your mind. Yeah.
Yeah, and these are custom questions, Nishal. So you're the only one.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Your top 3 projects of Ethereum.
This is a smart question. I think I'll just name one, which is APNS. I'm really, and I keep telling people that what I love is we are in a new sector, so everyone should innovate. While there are competitors are good, but I think we need to see a lot more innovation from India. And what you guys are doing is really innovative, and it's a moonshot project, and it's a good thing because this pushes the industry forward. And so yeah, EPNs for sure. Then there are so many I just can't put my head to it. One is enough, I think.
Okay, thanks. And thanks for that. And finally, what does Ethereum mean to you?
I think see, as a developer, it just freedom to build what you want and just put it out there and not worry about it. And I know it's true freedom, because otherwise once you build a couple of applications, you realize even if you have an idea, then you're worried, will this work, and how will I manage this, and how will I handle this? And suddenly Ethereum is like, whatever comes to mind, build it, put it, and then just forget it if you want. So it's true freedom for at least me as a developer. I think of it as freedom.
Awesome. So yeah, that's the end of the interview, Nishal, and this was epic. And by the way, guys, those questions were truly, truly random. So we never told Nischal to name our project. But yeah, thanks, Nischal, for taking the time out for us. We had our fun today by asking a lot of questions to you rather than you asking a ton to us during our calls. So this was really, really fun. And thanks for being a really awesome person, Nischal and Rockstar. Uh, and yeah, till next time, guys, stay awesome. We'll be back with another Rockstar of Ethereum very, very soon. Thanks, Nischal. Bye for now.
Thanks, Nischal.
Thanks, Harsh. Thanks, Risha. Bye.